And I told Roberta, I said, it just came to me as I think that we use God's name, and when we think about that, we think about just going ahead and cussing and using God's name and thing. And I said, I think that maybe it's more than that. I said, I think it's just the disrespect and not honoring God. So we use a Tony Evans Bible commentary, and it's not a plug for it. It's just that it's what we use. And he's a preacher out of Texas, and so Roberta looked back in and just read the Ten Commandments, and I'm gonna have to hold it up. I don't have my glasses here, so I'll read it to you. I'll read you what Tony had to say about this. The heading is "Do not misuse the name of the Lord your God." In the Bible, a person's name is a reflection of who he is. It speaks of his character and reputation. God is rightly concerned about the glory of his name. He does not want it defamed or abused, but valued and honored. We are not to use his name casually or carelessly, but seriously and reverently. Too often, however, we use frivolous phrases like "thank God" or "I swear to God." At its core, this kind of flippancy is treating God's name insignificantly. It is saying that he is insignificant. Think about it in this way. Forgery is the unauthorized use of someone's name. If you sign someone else's name to a document in order to obtain something, you have illegally used that individual's name, their identity. So if you say, "God told me to do this," you better be sure he did. Otherwise, you're forgetting God's name. No, you're forging God's name to drive your own agendas. Most people are zealous to protect their reputations. Imagine how the righteous God of the universe feels about the way his name is used. We are to honor the Lord's name as holy. How? By exalting his name, by praising him and declaring to the world who he is and what he has done. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. That's in Psalms 29:2. Give God his due. He deserves the best you have to offer. Live all of your life in the name of the Lord, seeking to honor him in everything. If you wear his name as you ought, you will live a life of righteousness, honor, and love. Finally, honor Jesus, for God has given him the name that is above every name. We are to confess the name of Jesus and submit to him as Lord. When we honor God's Son, we honor God's name. Yeah. And if you think about it, Roberta brought this up, and how many people go OMG? Isn't that how people use? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You might as well say it. Might as well say it. There's other things too, we all think, well, how petty that is, or whatever. When people go, "Oh my gosh," or "Gosh dang it," or whatever. It's just, if you really think about it, we as human beings, and I am one of those people, you start going ahead and saying, it's like, no big deal, Well, it might be a big deal, it is a big deal. It's not might, it is. And so, I'm just doing this. It was all about the Lord this morning. It's for food for thought. We all do stuff like, we're supposed to run everything we say by God first. If I was going to say something, if I was going to use Roberta's name for a cuss word, You know, would I do that if I love her? No way. Think about that. So what's that say about your love for God? I mean, really, what's it say about your love for God? You're using his name for cussing. So anyway, something to think about. Anyway.